Pick up a magazine at the newsstands these days or any tennis instructional book, and you'll find pages and pages of the basics. And even us pros sometimes have to go back to the basics when things aren't going too well. What you're about to see now doesn't replace a lesson you might take from your own playing pro, but sooner or later, we'll all have to go back to the basics. So let's get into it right now. Starting with that grip of the forehand, when the hand and your wrist was literally behind the racket like this, in order to get the backhand grip, we have to move the hand now more on top of the racket, from the side to the top. And we start by putting the bottom part, fleshy part of the palm, literally on top of the racket at the base of the handle right here. Spread your fingers over as much of the handle as possible and have the V formed by your thumb and this first finger straddling the top left edge of the handle. And on the other side, the thumb, the base of the thumb, the tips of these four fingers. And the thumb rests between the middle finger and the forefinger. Until you are a competent player, you should continuously check your grip until it becomes second nature to you. Flipping it around in your hand until you can just get the backhand grip automatically. There are three parts to the backhand: the backswing, the follow-through, and the finish. The key to a successful backhand stroke is early preparation. And the first thing you want to do instantaneously when you see the ball coming to your backhand side is to bring the racket back with your left hand while pivoting on your left foot. Watch my heel and my left shoulder. Then we look at the distance the racket travels between the knee and the shoulder on the end of the backswing. No higher than the shoulder, no lower than the knee. Now there are two ways to get the racket back in this position. You can loop it like this, or you can bring it straight back like this. Either way, you want to use the left hand to guide you. The second part of the backhand is the follow-through. This is where most of you get in trouble. You first want to think about transferring your weight from the end of the backswing through the follow-through. The weight has to leave the left foot or the back foot and transfer the weight to the front foot. That's done during the follow-through. You have to meet the ball out in front of your right foot. Right there, because this is where the racket is parallel to the net. The racket head is pointing to the other side of the net when it's opposite the right foot. The third part of the follow-through is that you must keep the racket face completely open during the entire stroke. From the end of the backswing, just watch my racket now. Watch. The racket face is open, it's open, it's open, it's open, it's open. And when you finish the follow-through, it leads to the finish. Now, I separate the finish and the follow-through for one big reason. I want you to think of swinging through the ball, not at the ball. Swing through the ball. And when you do finish, the back of your hand is pointing toward the sky. What I've just described to you is the basic underspin backhand. It's my bread and butter shot, as it is for most of the other players. And with this shot, you can float the ball deep back to your opponent's court with a minimum of effort. It's the easiest backhand to execute, and it's the most versatile. You can hit the ball anywhere in the court. Now, the flat backhand. Since flat means no spin, and it's virtually impossible to hit a ball like that, when you hear of flat strokes, what is meant are really strokes with very little spin. If you're going to hit a properly executed, perfectly flat shot, the ball must hit the strings of your racket at exactly 90 degrees, and it must continue on in that plane until the ball leaves the strings. Remember, shots hit with very little spin are hard to control.